So I've talked about some games that I've been to. I have talked about the NBA, talked about the MLB. I have also talked about college hockey. So since the Big Ten came back this weekend, I'm going to be talking about a Michigan State game that I went to.
Oh yeah, another one.
Yes, another one. This time will be football. I've been to a few Michigan State football games in my lifetime. This one was a I wouldn't say definitely not the best overall game I've been to, but maybe one of the better matchups, especially for this particular year.
Well, what was it?
On September 12th, 2015, I went to the Oregon at Michigan State game.
Oh, oh, wait, this was 2015.
2015, so you know what that means.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, that was definitely hype.
That was a fantastic season for Michigan State. They went to the playoff. They went to, and obviously they had that classic. And the ball is free, picked up by Jalen Watts Jackson, and he scores on the last play of the
You sound like
game.
Mickey Mouse, bro.
Dude, the voice cracks on 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 that entire play, dude. I remember it perfectly. That was a great season. But nonetheless, I went to a game a few weeks before, again September 12th, 2015, Oregon at Michigan State, which was the second game of the year, and we're coming up on the second game of the year next weekend. So I thought I should tell the story. Perfect timing.
Yeah, that's a really good. That sounds like a really lit experience. Again,
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't remember too much of the actual game and what happened during it, but I'm gonna start a few hours before I actually was in East Lansing. So my dad visited from Texas for my sister's birthday, and we spent time downtown Chicago celebrating again my sister's birthday.
mhm.
And so my dad was always planning on going to the game in East Lansing. I didn't have tickets, he did. And so he was just gonna after we spent time with my sister downtown, we were just gonna go back to my house, and then he was gonna drop us off and then go to the game. Well, then I think either he was like, "Oh, do you want to come too?" I was like, uh, you know, I think I should. I mean, Michigan State, Oregon. That's a fantastic matchup, and it was game day.
Oh, college game day was there.
Yeah, unfortunately, we we dropped my sister off around like I don't know 3. Got there around a few hours later. So by the time we actually got to East Lansing, the truck and all of the festivities were gone. But you could definitely see the aftermath of it.
Wow. So,
Yeah,
I mean, how early were you?
just to the game, maybe 15 minutes.
Oh,
to
dang.
yeah,
So you
yeah,
got
we were
there just in time for it.
yeah, we were definitely running a little bit late. It would have been cool to see like actual game day and like the truck and everyone, but that obviously didn't happen. But it was pretty cool, just that entire atmosphere. I mean, any game day atmosphere, whether it's going on in the morning or during the actual game, is going to be pretty hyped up.
So was it a green out, a white out, or a stripe out?
I th- I think a cool thing that Michigan State does is that both sides of the field, sometimes one side of the field is green and the other side is white, and they like tell you whether to wear a white or green shirt.
Hmm. Of course they feed off of those two colors.
East Lansing at Sports Stadium, it's a really cool place, really fun atmosphere. Um, but yeah, we arrived late to the game, and I mentioned how my dad had tickets and I didn't. So
Get
my
mine.
dad had my dad had to get some quick tickets, and since he got his tickets I don't know when, maybe a few weeks before or days. I couldn't tell you, but obviously he couldn't get tickets right next to him.
Ah.
So he got my tickets around the same area, obviously not next to him. So then we had to go to where my tickets were, and my dad was able to trade with the people sitting in front of me his tickets, so so that we could sit together.
Really?
So we had to do like a trade, but it was actually better for the people we traded with because they got closer seats where my dad had to come back and sit around my area.
Mm. Hmm.
But yeah, I almost did not go to the game. I decided to go, and then we had to figure out the ticket situation. So around that all that mess and stuff, we had the game finally started. It started pretty quickly. It was the first top 10 meeting in East Lansing since the 60s. So again, big matchup. Oregon was ranked 7, Michigan State was ranked 5. Man, that Michigan State team was stacked. Connor Cook, LJ Scott, RJ Shelton. Oh my goodness, that team was so good. Aaron Burbridge, I know you know a little thing or two about Aaron Burbridge, that classic catch and spin against Penn State into the end zone. Um, that team was stacked. Josiah Price, man, I miss that team so much. That such a good team. But that was the same year that MSU went to the college football playoff and the famous botch punt versus Michigan, or who I like to call scum. Uh, but it was the first half. It was pretty exciting. I do remember that Michigan State scored 14 in the first half. It was, I wouldn't say it was slow, but in the first quarter 7, in the second quarter 7, and Oregon only scored 7 in total in the first half. So pretty, I wouldn't say lackluster um, performance in the first half, but it wasn't the greatest.
Wasn't
Uh,
explosive.
no, it wasn't it wasn't anything like I don't know, an SEC shootout. It was probably as you would expect it, because these two teams, they were pretty similar. Uh, it was a competitive first half, I will say. Um, I and then at halftime, this is one of the most unique things I've seen at a game. One of the greatest Spartan basketball players in Michigan State's history, Draymond Green. He obviously a champion with the Golden State Warriors, and they decided, since it was game day, you know how they like to bring out a few of like former players or whatnot, right?
Yeah, like Chris Paul at Wake Forest, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
Yeah. So Draymond Green, actually, they like celebrated. I think he brought his finals trophy out at halftime, and they also honored him with like a Spartan helmet, not like a football helmet, but like
An actual Spartan helmet.
an actual Spartan helmet from like I obviously it's not hundreds of years old, but it's like the kind that they would wear hundreds of years ago, right? It's
Ah, I
pretty
see what
cool.
you mean.
Yeah, it looked bronze. It was really cool. The Spartan helmet was awesome. He got to wear it. It was pretty, like when he put it on, he started to get the crowd hyped. It was really cool. Um, but yeah, back to the actual game. The third quarter was a little bit more exciting. Michigan State scored 10. So by then it was 24-7 until Oregon scored another touchdown, which made it 24-14. The game got a little bit more close. But again, the third quarter wasn't too exciting. I mean, it was exactly as you would expect a close matchup like this. You weren't going to get a blowout, and a close game was expected. But the fourth quarter is where it got interesting. Oregon
Oh,
actually outscored Michigan State 14-7. So Michigan State had the lead again, 24-14 going into the fourth, but Oregon scored 14 in the fourth, but MSU eventually held on to the win to beat Oregon 31-28.
wow. And you said you don't remember all that much in the game, and it was that close of a game.
I know I'm kind of disappointed in myself. I only thing I can remember is Draymond at halftime and like looking around the concession stand for like a lemon like popsicle. That's it's weird, but that's all I remember. I don't remember much else, but that's very disappointing. But the game very close, very exciting. Michigan State again pulled out the win, 31-28. Impressive win. I mean, that really, they had a tough schedule if you think about it, and they were able to beat Ohio State. They were able to beat Penn State. They were able to beat Michigan. That team was so good, but Oregon actually they played a very good game as well. You might remember their quarterback Vernon Adams Jr. He threw 309 yards,
Hmm.
so not a bad game from him. Uh, 22 of 39, a little bit on the lesser end. He had two interceptions as well, only one touchdown, but the the 309 yards pretty impressive. Connor Cook had 192 yards, two touchdowns, one interception. So both it was a QB shootout.
Well, do you remember anything outside of turnovers, goal line stands, or anything like that?
Yeah, I like I said the fourth quarter I do remember it got really tight. Michigan State, I think Oregon was up or Michigan State was up by a little bit at one point, and uh Oregon, I think there was a big stand because the game was so close. Michigan State was able to hold on and win by three. So definitely, if you look up the highlights to this game, I'm sure there's something that I'm missing. But I just remember it was close back and forth, and Michigan State was able to hold on towards the end.
Wow, dude. So that was just a game, huh?
Yeah, that was just the game. Yeah, after the game, it's as you would expect. You just walk back to your car. But so Michigan State is set up really cool where that uh on your way to whichever way you come, you can you usually you park a little bit outside of the campus, not too far, but there isn't much parking obviously inside since it's a campus. But um, there there's a few cool places that you can go by. There's like this big athletic building, which actually is has Tom Izzo's office inside of the athletic building. And remember how I mentioned Draymond right
Yeah.
earlier? Well, obviously Draymond played for Tom Izzo at Michigan State, so we were able to see Tom Izzo, Draymond Green, I think even Draymond's mom, plus his finals trophy, like pretty up close. We walked right by his office. They were all standing there talking. It's pretty cool. I think even Miles Bridges or maybe Tum Tum was there as well. Um, Tum Tum Nairn Jr. Dude, that's one of my favorite Michigan State players of all time. Got a picture with him. It's another story. Um, Tum Tum, I love Tum Tum, but it might have been I think there was another player in there. I can't remember who it was. I just remember that Draymond, his finals trophy, and Tom Izzo were standing pretty close to us in his office.
Wow. So like Draymond was right there.
Yes, it wasn't like the blinds were not down. The window was entirely exposed. You could see the office and them talking, Draymond and Tom Izzo. It's pretty cool.
I don't get it. I don't get it. How do you
It
see
was
all these people? How do you see all these people face not necessarily face to face, but in person? I don't get it.
I don't either. That's very very lucky because what are the chances of going back to our car? We obviously we have to walk by the athletic building, but to see Draymond Green and Tom Izzo inside of his office is pretty cool.
Wow, dude. That's just insane right there.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But Michigan State they have a beautiful campus. Spartan Stadium's so nice. It's on the water. There's like a river behind it. It's really really nice, especially in the fall, which is football season, basketball season. Beautiful place, a really 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 cool place. Um, but honestly, that is the majority of my story. Again, we arrived late to the game, hardly had tickets, had to make a little trade. Uh, a pretty close game overall. Saw Draymond twice,
Holy
and
freaking
the NBA Finals trophy right in front of our eyes.
dude, you are just putting me to shame, bro. I I I'm a meme. I'm
No,
literally
no, no. You're, dude. I swear. Dude, just wait. You will. I guarantee you'll have some crazy experiences in the near future.
I just I don't get this, man. This is insane. It's like my stories are more about me playing or me broadcasting. Your experiences are more about you freaking going to games and meeting actual freaking stars. It's just like, oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah. I suppose I could pull out a few actual game stories of me playing. Um, I could do that. That might be fun. Talk about some hockey. I could talk about. I don't even remember flag football. I was like four. I could talk about. I have a lot of baseball stories, I suppose, but that one I told, I don't think anything's gonna come close to that for me.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that baseball story. I don't. It's gonna take a lot for you to top that.
Dude, yeah,
It'll take a lot. That was an instant classic.
yeah, dude,
Instant classic. Both of our baseball stories are instant classics.
dude, yeah. You've had some very exciting basketball and last week's baseball stories. Very exciting.
Yeah, but that was your Michigan State game day experience. It was obviously a night game because college game day was there,
Hmm.
right?
Dude, yeah, it was a really cool experience. It was a night game. Very, I wouldn't say it was. I can't remember. It was late, but it's really cool. The night games in college football are something else.
Oh, I'll one day,
One day for sure.
one day, as a broadcaster, fan, journalist, something,
Something.
something. I gotta be something.
I guarantee you'll have some crazy experiences to tell. Who knows? If this podcast lasts for the next decade, maybe you'll have some crazy stories to tell.
Hopefully, because I need some catching up. I got some catching up to do.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to your story though next week. Any idea of what you're going to tell?
Oh yeah, I definitely got something cooked up for you next week.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, I always come out firing, even though I don't have as much firepower as you. Um, my stories, I keep up, you know, as well as I can. But those actual game day experiences, man, I'm gonna need some time, especially during the pandemic. I'm gonna need some time
Yeah,
to catch up to that status.
I haven't had one cool sports experience, obviously, because we're in a pandemic, in a long time. I will say, in a long time.
Yeah, dude. I'll go ahead and yeah, I'll definitely soup something up. But yeah, that was your Michigan State story, huh?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I don't remember again much of the game, but hey, if you look up the highlights, I'm sure it's pretty exciting. But yeah, nonetheless, if you guys enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you're listening and watching on YouTube. If you're listening on streaming platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, um, leave a 5-star rating. Yeah, this has been Top of the Standings Story Time Special number 12. That's crazy. That is really crazy. But yeah, Andrew Jotham, hey, we do this every week. We have fun doing it. And yeah, peace.